What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Post-to-Post podcast. My name's Chris Ronan, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Matt Small.
Hey.
How was your St. Patrick's Day, man? Good?
It was good. Part one of the St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, I think I'm doing it again this weekend.
Oh, yeah, for sure. By the time this comes out, people will be doing part two.
Yeah, I didn't get my normal boiled dinner. You ever have boiled dinner?
No, I think we talked about this last week, and I still
I can't wait, dude. This weekend, I'm going to crush some. But
you said cabbage, potatoes.
Yeah, cabbage, potatoes. I think turnip and like corned beef. Delicious,
that
dude.
Sounds
it's
disgusting.
So good. Most people hate it, but I love it, dude. I'm actually nursing my hangover today with a Four Loko Red. This is making me bounce right back. Solid 14%, but I'm feeling good. We have great weather out there. I'm in my summer outfit. You know, I'm looking like I came right off the golf course. And there's just this dark cloud looming over my shoulder with the Buffalo Sabres jersey. Just not doing well at all in the East.
Very dark cloud.
It is like a clown show there, dude.
It's brutal.
Jack Eichel is looking for a new home soon, I'm pretty sure. He's getting fed up. But we got a lot to cover before we get to that, right?
Right. I got to say, though, you got to give a shout-out to the real heroes here, our livers.
Yeah.
2020, man, my liver has been put to work overtime, and then...
my stomach carried me through most of it, too.
St. Patty's
stomach
Day.
And my liver.
St. Patty's Day and the Wednesday, man.
Good food, good drink. What more can you ask for, huh? Maybe go outside and hang out with people again, but other than that, I'm doing all right.
All right. Ready to do this?
Let's do it, baby.
Ready to do it? All right, here we go. This week, Patrick Laine was benched yet again. Torts, in the post-game interview after the game, said, "You guys don't think I want to play Patty?" Which I think we're all like...
Kind of doesn't seem like you do, pal.
Yeah, right?
That's what benching is.
That's what benching is. He said he thought he played one of the best periods in the first period. So why the hell would you bench him one? Laine was benched for the remaining 6 minutes and 53 seconds of the third period. He had 1 goal and 1 assist that game. What do you have to do to impress Tortorella?
I'm telling you, man, it's got to be something else. Tortorella is, I don't know if he wants to be center of attention, if he wants to be fired, like what the deal is here, but I just have to think that Laine must be doing something like on the back end to deserve this. I don't know.
Something's wrong.
Something's off. This is just Tortorella being Tortorella, though, right?
Does he just like nitpick people? Like,
is he going to be the next Babcock? You think? Is he going to be out of the league, out from behind the bench?
He's looking like it. He's looking like it. Oh my God, that Four Loko you gave me it's killing me.
Tastes
right
like
now.
Swedish fish, dude.
It's terrible. It's terrible. My stomach's just like, why'd you do this?
Gets better with age.
Anyway,
they also put some alcohol facts on here that kind of look like nutrition facts, which I find hilarious. You want to hear what it says?
Go ahead, do it.
Alcohol by volume, 14%. Alcohol per serving, 0.7 fluid ounces. Serving size, 5 fluid ounces, and servings per container, 4 3/4. So it doesn't really tell you much outside of how big the can is, how big a serving size is, and what the ABV is, which I'm pretty sure is all on the can.
And it's going to kill you.
Yeah, I mean.
That was bad.
Tastes like
smells like Swedish fish. I'll give it
fish
that.
And gasoline.
Anyway, I feel like Tortorella nitpicks at people. I think he had the same thing with Bobrovsky, and I think that's why Bobrovsky left. Who's the other player? Remember, it was Bobrovsky and someone else.
Artemi Panarin left for the Rangers.
Right, and he left for the Rangers. They were both of them were found in Florida at one point. And you gotta think look at
the opposite ends of the spectrum too. Panarin came back. Did we mention that last week, or was he not back then?
I don't think he was back then. He came back this week.
But look at the opposite ends of the spectrum with how well Panarin is doing in New York and how poorly Bobrovsky is doing in Florida. You know,
right?
It's nuts.
I don't know. I don't know. How long before we see Tortorella gone? Or
I think he's gonna bring Columbus out of the league. Honestly, they're gonna move cities and pick up shop and go. No one wants to play in Columbus. No one wants to play for Torts and.
You know,
not much more to say there.
I thought about why Laine. Remember Laine left? It was a trade from Winnipeg, right?
Yes. Yep.
And remember the first practice they had him on camera, and we talked about this a few episodes ago. And he looked just upset, like absolutely just down on himself.
Yeah,
I'm like,
absolutely.
I think I know why now.
Yeah,
I think I know why.
He knows what he's getting into.
Yep. Anyway, so other than that. We got something else that came up this week that somewhat of a breakdown, but more of a question, I guess. So March 11th, the Devils versus the Islanders game. Islanders defenseman Dobson shot off from the blue line. Devils player Sami Vatanen and Islanders Oliver Wahlstrom, who's a Quincy native here, collided into Blackwood. And Devils' Damon Severson puts it in his own net. It's a weird play, but even if it's an own goal, do you think goalie interference should still be a thing in this situation?
I mean, it wasn't because the play was ruled there was no goalie interference, right?
Right.
So, I mean, it's kind of like a moot point there.
Mm-hmm.
But in the case that it was goalie interference on an own goal,
Right.
I don't know. That's weird because no one shot the puck. It's almost like those own goals where they're in the offensive zone with their own goalie pulled,
Right.
and the puck gets dumped out. Like they try to pass it to their own defenseman, they miss it, and it goes into their own net, and that's a good goal. Like,
Right.
I think it might stand, unless the ref blows the whistle before the goal gets in for the
Right.
goalie interference call, which they which they wouldn't, because let's say the Devils have the puck and the Islanders player interferes with the goalie, and then the ref's arm would go up, right? They wouldn't
Right.
blow the whistle right there,
Nope.
and then the Devils player accidentally puts it into his own net. That's still a good goal. You know what I mean?
I thought like a whistle would be blown as soon as something like that, like a colliding
Oh,
with
yeah,
the
yeah,
goalie.
yeah. I don't know. That's how they do it in the NHL video game, because I mess around with that sometimes. Trust me, I know that. But I don't know how they would do it in the show. That is an interesting
I
point.
feel like if they fall on the goalie and the goalie can't get up, I feel like the whistle's just blown dead.
Oh, no, not like that. I'm talking. So, all right, I see what you're picturing. But what I'm talking about is the guy was interfered with the goalie. Both players get up, play resumes, and the ref has his arm up because he's like, he interfered with the goalie.
Right.
Now the Devils have the puck, and they accidentally put it into their own net. It's still like you said, is it a goal or is it a
goal
blown whistle?
or is it a blown whistle?
Right.
Yeah.
So, but either way, at the end of this play, it was determined that
it's still a
the
goal.
defenseman pushed the forward onto his own goalie.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no goalie interference because the defenseman put the player there,
So this is Blackwood, right?
Yeah.
He gets his player pushes him. Who was it? Severson.
Severson put it into the net. It was Vatanen.
Sami Vatanen and Oliver Wahlstrom. Oliver Wahlstrom was the one who fell on him.
Mm-hmm.
So Sami Vatanen pushed Oliver Wahlstrom on top of Blackwood.
Yep.
And then top it all off, you got your own player, Damon Severson, putting it in his own net.
Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it almost didn't go in because I think Wahlstrom's legs were just behind the goal line.
Right.
So they had to really look at it and see if it crossed.
That's so weird. Like, I when you see the replay, it he was trying to get. You see his stick. But it didn't look like he was trying to bring it out. He just he looked like he was tapping it in.
Yeah, he was. It was like he was trying to corral it with the backhand, but instead he got it with the toe and poked it into the net. It was weird. Definitely very weird.
Very weird play. Speaking of the Islanders, though, they had 9 straight wins until the other night when they lost to the Caps. They play Philly again tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. Islanders are now 2nd in the division and 4th in the league right now, next to Washington, who's 3rd in the league.
Nuts, man.
This is huge.
Yeah, Washington is in first in the East, and they both have the same number of points. So I forget what it goes to next. Is it win percentage or something? Yeah, because the Caps have one less played game.
Mm-hmm.
Both these teams are 9-1-0 in their last 10. Isn't that funky? So the Islanders' one loss was last night against the Capitals,
Right.
and the Capitals' one loss was 7 games ago. They're on a 6-game win streak right now.
Holy shit.
And they're both at the top of the East.
Isn't
And
that insane?
It's kind of
They're
nuts.
right next to each other.
Yeah, and real quick, I'm going to pop over to the North. The Maple Leafs have just pissed that lead away, huh?
Oh,
they had
God.
maybe a 6 or an 8 point lead on Winnipeg and Edmonton, and now it's 40 points for Maple Leafs and 38 and 38 for the Jets and the Oilers.
We're seeing a mix around. We got Toronto. We just talked about the Bruins falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Washington's is. I mean, they're right there, but they were falling apart for a bit.
The
And
Wild, they're taking off like a
Wild are
rocket
taking
ship.
off. It's for some reason. And we talked about it's almost the end
The
of the season.
Blackhawks too.
May 8th.
Yeah, May 8th. We got a month and a half left roughly, so be interesting to see where this all shakes out.
Right. It's all over the place. I mean, some of those teams are just dominant all season long. Even though it's a short season, they're dominant all season long, and now all of a sudden,
Yeah, the Panthers are another
freaking
team that are taking off too, while the Blackhawks sink back a little bit.
Unbelievable. Panthers and Lightning. We talk about them all the time, but you can't not talk about them. When was the last time we thought the Florida Panthers was going to be this good?
Yeah, right.
Especially the New York Islanders.
Especially what we were saying with Bobrovsky.
Right.
You know,
Isn't that insane?
it is weird.
Is
he playing?
We were shitting on Bobrovsky.
He must
earlier.
have better numbers now. His stats must have flipped a bit.
He must, unless Dreger came in and is really
Stealing the show.
stealing the show.
But it's not like we talked about. You're not going to not play the goalie that you paid $10 million a year for.
Exactly.
So he's got to be pulling some weight.
Excellent. This is going to be a great playoffs. I can't wait for it. Anyway, in sad news this week, 19-year-old Timurudinov was struck in the head by a puck last week and tragically passed away a few days after. The puck hit him in the carotid artery, a major blood vessel that transports blood to the brain. Timur played in the NHL, which is a major junior hockey league in Russia. He played for Dynamo St. Petersburg. This was all just wrong place at the wrong time. The puck was just a dump into the zone by an opposing player and just caught him in the head. It's
so terrible to see, man. Like, it's just a
brutal.
freak accident, and you watch it happen, and he kind of drops like just a normal, like, got hit in the head kind of thing, and then apparently his heart stopped for 8 minutes, and they brought him back.
Wow.
He was fighting for his life overnight and passed away.
That's insane.
But you got to feel for the other player too, man. Just awful, you know.
No one wants to do this. No, like, I don't care how angry you're at. We've seen fights in the league or just like brutal checks, but no one.
And this was nothing like that either. This was just a harmless dump into the zone that caught him. You know.
I feel for the player. I can only imagine what he's going through right now. Like, it's like maybe thoughts of like, what if I didn't dump it? And then, it's just it's shit like that. But you feel for this 19-year-old who probably had a go for. I tried looking him up. And I couldn't find anything, but he probably had to go for the NHL. Or
he was a captain too. I think he was a defenseman, right?
Right. Yep. He went down like how you normally would, like getting struck in the head, like just holding your head. And
yeah, it must be. So that artery must have ruptured and just internal bleeding. Just terrible.
Oh God, such sad story coming from Russia. We all feel bad for that. Someone was talking. I put it up on Facebook, and someone was talking to me about enforcing the cages for the helmets, and I was like, although this is a freak accident, a tragic freak accident, this doesn't happen enough for them to say we got to change this. Like,
and I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to the player. So,
right.
And 90% of these guys are fucking lunatics and aren't going to wear them anyways.
No.
They'd rather have the visor.
The visor.
They think
nothing.
the cage inhibits their vision and their play. So.
Right. I don't know. So sad news this week. In crazy news this week, I can't believe you're the one who sent me this. 8th grader Aaliyah makes 92 saves in a 9-0 loss. Isn't that nuts?
Been there before,
that's
haven't
like,
you?
That's like a 3-on-3.
Yeah.
Aaliyah is the starting goalie for the Winona girls hockey team in Minnesota, the Windhawks.
They might have to change their name. She's 0-17 with the team, right? The whole team is 0-17. They might need to be the Lose Hawks.
Savage. In their game versus Northfield on March 13th, she made 92 saves on 101 shots. Northfield outshot Winona 101-3. Where's the offense? Where's the defense?
You just can't get the puck out of the zone, You ever been bunkered in like that? Like just outclassed?
The entire game
it's
like that?
Yeah, it's like when you're in a D league and the other team's like B level.
B league.
Yeah.
And just, sorry. Northfield outshot Winona 101-3. She faced 32 shots in the first period, 38 in the second, and 31 in the third. Now, goalies in the NHL see these shots an entire game.
Yeah.
She's seeing shit like this in one period.
Yeah.
She's already played 816 minutes of ice time this season and faced 954 shots, blocking 840 of them. The team is 0-17, like you said. The team lost 9-0, but in my book, this is an absolute win. Aaliyah, that game, with 101 shots on goal, still had an outstanding .911 save percentage. Can you imagine that?
That's insane.
Earlier this month, in a game versus Mankato West, she faced 64 shots and then 47 in a game versus Rochester. So, tip of the hat to you. That's goaltending in action right there.
I think they got to be bumped to a different league. 0-17, poor 8th graders that I just dusted.
So, one thing I read on here that kind of confused me, I couldn't figure it out, is she's an 8th grader playing for a high school team. Now, I know this is girls hockey. Can you do that as?
Yeah, you absolutely can. There's like U17 and U15. We talked about it before. You can either play like. I mean, it's weird that she's in 8th grade and doing it because like you can do it the other way when you're in 9th grade and you can play down to U15. But yeah, I mean, if they're good enough, they usually call them up. Wow. I've seen that before.
Wow. Yeah. So tip of the hat. That was.
And also, some high schools, I believe, go 8th grade to 12th, right?
Do they?
Yeah, I think so. Some
places
9th
to 12.
Some go like 7 to 12. Some even go like 6 years.
Really?
Yeah, normal high school, like, for us is like 9 to 12, 4 years.
Wow.
So I definitely think there's like, yeah, there's got to be. I think like you could go like, I think sorry, this is terrible. Some states cut the middle school out and do like K through 6 and then do like 7 through 12. Like 2 different schools.
Interesting.
Elementary
I
and
didn't
high
know
school. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Anyway, another. Did you watch that game last night?
No,
Versus Rangers and Flyers?
I had no interest in it. It was insane, dude.
If anyone follows my Instagram, man, I was just like constantly on the stories, just counting it. Like it was every minute or so, I was like 5-0,
Unreal,
6-0.
Unreal.
New York Rangers coaches were out due to COVID protocol last night for the Rangers Flyers game, but that didn't matter at all. Hartford Wolfpack's head coach Chris Knobloch and assistant GM Chris Drury filled in for last night's game against the Flyers. Rangers made a mockery of the Flyers last night and beat them 9-0.
And that was the score at the end of the second, right?
That was a score at the end.
I'm going to look it up, too. But I thought that
I think so. And I think
they didn't score at all in the third.
No, I think they got shut down in the third. It got to a point where the fans that were in the stands were chanting, "We want 10. We want 10." And I can like...
Was it pumped in noise or was it real?
No, it was real. Like they actually had fans.
Imagine if they pumped that in.
Just was it NBCSN that was like doing it? Be like, we want 10. We want 10. It was the franchise's largest margin of victory since March 31st of 1986 against the Devils for another 9-0 win. Mika Zibanejad in that game tied for another random ass stat. I decided to throw this in here. Tied for first place for an NHL record for most points in a single period that game, with 6 points, including 3 goals in 1 period, which was the second period. And oh man, like
dude, he did something just like this last year. I had to look it up. Zibanejad scored 5 goals to match the New York Rangers record in one game. He ended up scoring the overtime winner in a 6-5 win over the Washington Capitals. So he scored 5 of the 6 goals with the game winner, and this was last year, like right around this time. It was March 5th, I believe. Yeah, nuts, dude.
Zibanejad's a beast.
He is, man. He is. He's not really talked about as much as I think he should be. Like he'll pop off like this so randomly. That is insane, dude. 6 goals and 6 points in 1 period.
1 period.
That's nuts.
I mean, they were just taking off, man. Like if anyone again has my Instagram and go on my stories, I think I got to the point where after 9-0, I put up a stupid ass video of me packing up my gear, saying, "Oh, Flyers need a goalie. I'm going to Philly."
The next David Ayers.
No, I'm not that good. Another news: Ottawa Senators Hogberg injured, Murray injured in warm-ups, and Joey Daccord gets his first NHL win. This week during warm-ups, Matt Murray unexpectedly left with an upper body injury. I mean, this guy is just injury-prone at this point.
Yeah, he probably just doesn't want to play anymore. I got my money.
I don't know.
I don't feel good.
Tell him I got hurt.
I got tummy ache. Tell him upper body.
Joey Daccord got his first start, an impressive first win for the Ottawa Senators. Ottawa, being last in the division, faced off against the first-place team, Toronto Maple Leafs, which is I saw that and I was like, he's gonna get lit up for like.
Yeah, right.
Daccord faced 36 shots that game, which is still less than what's her name, Aaliyah, and stopped 33 of them for a 4-3 win over Toronto Sunday, which is huge.
Yeah, especially for them to beat the Maple Leafs. That's just a huge morale boost, especially where you backup's getting it.
Exactly. We're gonna need to add another one after I say this. Daccord will go on to play in the next game versus Vancouver with a 3-2 loss in OT, stopping 25 of 28 shots.
The interview of him after the game too. Did you see that? That was awesome.
That was awesome.
So Murray went out there and was like, "I'm not feeling too right. Like, be ready just in case." He goes out there for warm-ups. He's like, "No go."
Can't do it.
So he's like, "Oh hell yeah!" So Daccord gets back in there and ends up getting the win, dude. Against the Maple Leafs too. That's just insane. I'm sure the Ottawa Senators, like, with Murray going out, like. You'd think a team like that would be down in the dumps, but I bet they rallied. They were like, all right, we got to get this kid.
We got to get this.
A win, get it done.
Did you see the post-game interview for this?
Yeah,
man,
he was tearing up.
That was a tearjerker.
That was awesome,
I was like,
yeah.
He's like, I don't know who to thank. There's just so many people to thank for this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, I feel it coming out of his heart, saying like, this is what everything I did in my life. This is what it all came up to, and I got to thank everyone. So. Unfortunately for Joey Daccord, last night, Daccord will leave the game early in third period with a lower body injury. So You got another
It looked
Ottawa.
like when I saw the video, it almost looked like he tried to push and rolled his knee,
rolled his ankle or something.
It was weird, but he didn't look too good.
Did
you see the save he made?
Yeah, he was just laying there.
He was like, he gets hit with the puck. He's like, fuck.
Shit. But yeah, he's trying to. It's like his ankle got stuck on the post, and he was trying to come around, and as he was pushing it, I don't know what it was. It's weird to see when a goalie
his
gets
knee
hurt,
almost popped too. It was weird.
Right.
You can't really.
You can't tell what it is because with the pads and everything, goalies if he's holding the pad, you're like that could be anything. That could be his foot or anything. Anyway, so Philip Gustafsson came in to finish the game, but would lose 3-2 in a shootout. Senators now have Philip Gustafsson, and I'm assuming Antoine Forsberg, who they just claimed off waivers from Winnipeg this week. When it pours, it rains. What do the Senators do now? What's their next move? And as the Senators GM, what's running through your mind
I
right
like
now?
that. When it pours, it rains. That's great. Their next move is to maintain position as the 4th worst team in the NHL. Try not to go any lower. And
Moving up.
Try not to go any higher.
Right.
Just keep on coasting, baby.
So you got Hogberg still out. Matt Murray's out. You got Joey Decourt out. 3 goalies out. Now they're
looking pretty desperate. Someone might be calling him up hey, give me Jimmy Stu. I'll send you over fucking Tuukka Rask.
Yeah, I don't know. Just grabbing a defenseman. It's put on these pads. I'm not a goalie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll figure this out.
I played goalie once when I was in 3rd grade. All right, you're in.
You're gonna see Ottawa versus Toronto in a week, and there's just gonna be a shooter tutor in the net.
Yeah.
You're gonna be this is our goalie.
Those things are hard to score on, though. Those things are no joke. They're better than we are.
10 times better than any goalie. Yeah, it's unfortunate for Ottawa. They're shitting, but still not as bad as Buffalo.
Yeah.
Still not as bad as Buffalo.
It's a circus there.
And which is the next topic. The Buffalo Sabres, I'd say, finally fired head coach Ralph Kruger. We're talking about Canadians the past few weeks, and just things weren't going right. And all right, we'll fire the head coach or fire the goaltending coach. I don't know why it took this long for the GM to be all right, something needs to change. But anyway, it finally changed after their 12th straight loss, which is what was that thing that you sent me where the Seattle Kraken is better than the Buffalo Sabres?
Oh, it was a newspaper article. It was it was basically ranking all the teams in the NHL of what's the most interesting thing happening in the league, and they were Seattle Kraken it was 31st in the league. Seattle Kraken start their inaugural season next year.
And the Buffalo
is 32nd behind a team that doesn't exist. Least interesting team in the league.
Oh, what a joke. What a joke.
12 games in a row,
12
losing streak.
games
It can't get much longer than that.
No, it can't. It can.
It can, and it
might. For their sake, they hope not.
Oh, my goodness.
Buffalo is last in the East Division and worst in the league right now. So, it can only get better, right? Can they get kicked out of the league if they get any worse? They'll be
they get demoted down to the fucking NHL.
The AHL.
All right, you ready to hear this?
Yeah.
How many games do you think the longest losing streak is ever in NHL history?
Longest losing streak. What do I...
How many games do you think it is?
I'm going to say a little more than 12. I'm going to say 14.
14? That's a good guess. It's 30 games.
Holy shit.
1981, 1982 Winnipeg Jets. That's insane,
What?
dude.
That's oh my god. 19. How many games were that?
They only got
How many
18
games
more
were then?
games to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What that many games?
Oh man,
How
that's so
fucking
funny.
bad are you?
That's insane.
That's fucking brutal. Oh. Anyway, assistant coach Don Granato will be placed as the new head coach at least until May. Sabres have talked about talking to Mike Babcock and Bruce Boudreau for the spot. It would be interesting to see if they could turn things around for this team. I don't think Mike Babcock would do anything for the team besides make people want to leave. Well,
yeah.
dude, who wants to live in Buffalo?
No.
Who wants to live in Buffalo?
Just no.
No one.
So another funky thing real quick. As far as the league is concerned, this is a winless streak, quote unquote, because when you lose in overtime or a shootout, you get a point in the process.
Mm-hmm.
And that snaps a losing streak according to official record keeping. So let me just check that Winnipeg one. NHL longest losing streak. Winless is what they call it. Yeah, winless. So overtime losses, even though you do pick up a point, it's winless.
Still winless.
Yeah. But
Just
That's
terrible.
insane.
It's terrible. 30 games for Winnipeg. I didn't know that.
Oh,
That's
couldn't
disgusting.
imagine. No wonder they moved to Atlanta. And then came crawling
And then
back.
Atlanta was shit. What's Atlanta has to be worse somehow.
Worse? No, that was the worst in the entire league, like all time.
Oh,
yeah,
shit, really?
It's the longest losing or winless streak of all time.
Dude, I remember Atlanta. I feel like when you say Atlanta Thrashes and then like you saw a game, I feel like that's saying your age at this point for us.
Yeah, it kind of is. Like I feel like a lot of these young fans, young players.
Who the fuck are the Thrashes?
But the Jets haven't been here that long, right? How long has it been? 7 years?
7 or 8 years at this point,
see.
if you want to check that out.
Yeah.
I remember, I think the last 3 or 4 years for the Thrashes, man, like you'd watch their home games and
Empty,
nobody
dude.
in the stands.
And it used to be like that for Florida, and they kind of got their stuff together clearly, you know.
Right.
I think it's a lot of away games for that market. Like away fans come in and watch games, but
yeah.
you wouldn't really get that in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, because when you watch Bruins games for like, especially the Florida Panthers, and you look around, you see a bunch of Bruins jerseys.
Yeah.
But especially from Boston here, like how many people do you know?
Florida's like small Boston.
It is, because how many people do you know about that say, hey, I'm retiring in a few months, and they're like, oh, what are you doing? Like, oh, I'm moving down to Florida.
Well, if you think about it, right? Like, if you are in Oregon, Washington, and it's like cold, shitty out there,
Yeah.
and you want to retire, you just go down to Cali.
Oh yeah.
You know, like you wouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna go diagonal across the country and retire to Florida. Cali's right here. Let's go Cali. But Atlanta. Last game was played April 10th, 2011. So I was so close to
You
saying
were
9,
real
and
close.
I choked and went for 7.
That's fine.
Yeah.
2011, huh?
Doesn't
really?
that seem like the Jets haven't been around that long? But
yeah,
they have now.
But they have.
Yeah, that's
It's
showing
been
our
10
age
years.
too. Yeah. Oh, dude, yeah. I was thinking 9 years. Still thinking it's 2020 part 2.
Holy shit. 10
This
years.
is a sequel. My life's a movie, and not in a good way.
Speaking about movies, I mean, this guy should get one. Ovechkin passes Phil Esposito in career goals this week, and he's just gonna climb, man.
He is, yeah.
He's just gonna climb. I sent you a video on Discord or Instagram. Someone is just filming Ovi in like
Dude,
his one
he did the thing we
spot.
just talked about. The controller is disconnected. That was like one of the top comments on that video. He's just standing, like
He's
literally
just
not
standing.
moving on the power play.
and no one's defending him.
But someone is. That's the thing. The reason that they do that, like he doesn't want to move. He doesn't need to move. The player is there, the
Yeah.
defenseman. He's not fully committed on Ovechkin, but he's there enough that it's a 4-on-3 on the other half of the ice. Like you don't see that because they're zoomed in on Ovi.
Right.
But that's the play that they draw up. Like the coach, I forget the name for Washington. You know the coach for Washington? Put you on the spot.
Why did I want to say Bruce Boudreau? But
It used to be. He went to the Islanders. I forget who the new
I
coach
can't
is.
remember his name.
Anyways, so the play is drawn up that if the dude is sticking to Ovechkin one-on-one,
Yep.
he's going to sink out and just stand there in his spot and be a threat because that guy's going to stay there. And now you have the other half of the ice to work with and work 4-on-3,
Okay,
and
yeah.
you can expose them better that way, you know?
Interesting.
It's weird. It's weird to think about, but dude, like the fact that he's not even making an effort kind of like defeats the purpose, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
He's just kind of
the second that he gets the puck, he could score from there. Lethal.
Yeah, he's going to
Lethal.
score regardless. Anyway, Ovi now ranks 6th all-time goal leaders. Sorry, what the hell did I write? Said he ranks 6th of all-time goal leaders in the NHL, surpassing Phil Esposito. Looking at 5th, we got 5th place. We got Marcel Dion with 731, and 4th is Brett Hull with 741. And I honestly believe Ovi can beat that. I'd give it like 2 more seasons, maybe.
I mean, he might catch 731 by the end of this season. He's probably like a 0.9 points per game player or goals per game player, like
Right.
average.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if we're looking at the rest of the season, let's assume we're at half. Actually, I can check this right now. The Capitals have it's a 56-game season, so they have 7 and 2, so 27 more games.
He's
and he needs
currently
to
got
get
718.
he needs 13 and 27 games. That's a goal every other game. He can do that this season.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if he'll catch 741 by the end of the season.
No.
I wonder if they count postseason goals in that. I would assume, yeah,
They would have to,
it's
yeah,
career
'cause
goals.
It's still career goals, yeah, for sure.
And I mean, you get a bonus if you're on a good team and a scorer like Ovechkin, like him versus like a McDavid. If the Edmonton Oilers aren't making the playoffs and the Caps are making a run,
Yeah.
he's got like 16 extra games to play. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
X
yeah.
amount of more
Oh,
games
yeah,
than
yep.
McDavid.
Makes sense.
Same thing with games played too. Like if you're looking at the Carey Price stat
Yeah.
of games played,
Right.
you know, you play playoffs, you get more opportunities.
Right. This is still funny to me because anytime I see Yager, I'm just like, he's still playing. Like, he's still like a Russian beast that's been playing in the league longer than we've been alive. What the fuck? Alive.
Is he Czech or is he Russian? I'm going to look it up.
He's Czech, I think.
I think he's Czech.
I feel like he's Czech.
But basically Russian.
Right now, he's
Russian junior.
Right now for the NHL, he places third
Czech.
with 766 goals. And what if Ovechkin starts to really come up and Yager's just fuck this and just signs with the team and NHL is no,
yeah, it comes back
up to me.
Dude, know who did not do anything when he came back was Kovalchuk. I kind of thought he was going to be nasty when he came back, and he has done shit with LA.
Nothing.
Yeah.
He was a big name for again another Thrashers player.
Yeah. Yeah, he's highly skilled, man, but I don't know what the hell's going on. I think he's another one of those guys that got paid, got back in the league, and kind of died off, kind of like Bobrovsky. Give me my money.
I'm just gonna retire in this league, not doing anything.
Just pulling up some numbers for Kovalchuk real quick.
Do it.
I believe, he came back. Oh, dude, he's been bouncing around. He's on Washington right now. I thought he was still on LA.
I still don't know. Yeah, me too.
Well, that was in the 20 season. I don't see any stats for 2020, 2021, so I don't know if he's still playing.
Is he gone?
Potentially. So in the Kings, he came back. 64 games played. I had a bet that he was going to have 20 goals in the season. He had 16. And then in the 1920 season, 3 goals. And in the 9 goals total in the 1920 season. He got traded from LA to Montreal, and then Montreal traded him to Washington. Damn. He bounced to 3 teams in 1 year. That's kind of nuts.
Holy shit. What was his stats?
For which year?
Just 2020 season.
2020 season?
Yeah.
10 goals.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What was his career high, do you know?
Looking like 52 right now.
Oh.
Yeah, 52 in 08 with Atlanta and 06 with Atlanta.
Interesting.
Yeah, he was all the way with Atlanta. He was on the Devils. I liked him when he was there. 31 goals in 11. 37 and 12. And then, he left for 6 years after the Devils. I think he, got the contract and was able to leave and still get paid or some shit like that. He just bounced on them, yeah.
Shit.
And then 16 goals for the Kings in 19, and then 10 goals in 22 and 24 is 46 games played. Oof. 10 goals in 46, 16 and 64. Yeah, not good.
Nope.
Not great.
Brutal. Whatever. Should I hop into my segment, or do you want to mess around for a bit?
Yeah, hit it. We'll mess around at the end.
Okay. You ready to hear all this?
Oh, yeah.
So
I don't know if the listeners are.
I don't know what this is. So I just want to put out a fair warning for everyone listening. I try to be very careful with what I'm saying in this. If I say something off, I try to not mean it. This week I found a video or a little segment that this program W5 from Canada put up, and it was actually in December, and for some reason I'm seeing it now. And the fact that I watched it at least 3 or 4 times at this point because it was just so interesting to me. But it showed a dark side of the NHL, and they put it up I was like, why am I still not hearing about this? You Google it, and it's still the NHL doesn't even come up at all. So I'm going to read verbatim what I wrote, and just to get it out there, make people aware of what's going on and the effect it has on players. These players who I'm going to talk about are out of the league right now and have been affected because of it. And I think it's something people should know about. So W5 is a news magazine TV program that airs on CTV television network in Canada. It's the same as TV programs 20/20 and 60 Minutes here in the States. A few months ago, they uploaded a story they did titled The Problem of Pain. In the story, they interviewed former NHL players Kyle Quincy, Ryan Kessler, and Zenon Konopka, and former strength and conditioning coach Justin Roethlingschufer on an anti-inflammatory drug called Toradol. Toradol is a drug that has helped players in the NHL and AHL with injuries to ease the pain and allows them to play at 100%. Toradol sounds incredible, but it's ruined players' lives who were uninformed and had no knowledge on this drug they were taking. Health regulators in Canada and U.S. say Toradol should not be taken any more than 5 days. It's not to be used as a prophylactic, which is disease treatment, not intended to treat chronic pain, and potential side effects include kidney failure and internal bleeding. According to this interview, players are unaware of all this. Ryan Kesler spoke out on this, saying in 2015 he developed colitis, which is an inflammatory bowel disease, which his doctors said was most likely caused by the use of Toradol. He said it ate holes in his colon and ulcers, and intestines went into spasms. He talked about playing in the playoffs that year, having to use the bathroom 30 to 40 times a day, and it was pure blood. And then in 2019, he was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, another type of bowel disease. Ryan Kesler says he's currently on an infusion called Remicade, which kicks his ass physically and makes him sleep for 2 days because of it. But it's what's keeping the Crohn's disease under control, he says. The side effects feel like he's walking on nails. He's more susceptible to cancer, more susceptible to liver and kidney problems, and it's all from the Remicade and Crohn's disease. Kyle Quincy spoke out and said his pain is getting better. He does his normal game day gym routines to keep up under what he said. He's worried about the future with the pain he doesn't feel, especially in his head and anxiety and depression. Zenon Konopka said he used the Toradol shot regularly and said normally there'd be a line in the locker room to get the shot. Zenon Konopka's wife said some days he can't get out of bed from the back pain and fatigue in his body. He said he takes half-an-hour bats every day with the Stream Jets on to loosen up his back just to start the day. NHLPA Prescription Medication Subcommittee meets at least once a year, reviews prescription medication reports compiled by team doctors, but nothing is made public. TSN has spoken to 17 NHL players who use Toradol more than the allowed 5 days. Multiple player agents said the players who take Toradol before every season and post-season games, which could equal out to 100 doses a year. There's no way to tell how much Toradol was actually prescribed because the NHL is very secretive with this kind of information. Justin Roethlisberger, a personal trainer, was the strength and conditioning coach from 2017 to 2019 for the San Diego Gulls in the AHL. Experienced it firsthand where guys were lining up to get the Toradol. He says it's something you love about hockey and it's something you hate at the same time if you know about it and start to dig deep. You just go, that's messed up. He says there were conversations that just weren't being had. He tried to talk and educate players about alternative medicines, but it cost him his job with the Gulls. The Ducks accused him of distributing and administering CBD products. The Gulls then seized his laptop, then company phone, and not long after he was fired. He said no one wants to talk about it because they're scared they'll be fired. Kyle Quincy, when playing for the Grand Rapids Griffins for the AHL in 2008, found out he had a herniated disc and wanted an MRI and was told no and was given a lot of pushback. Couldn't understand why. Then he found out there's a games played bonus with the trainers for the Griffins. So if he missed a game, that's money lost in their pockets. Grand Rapids Griffins responded when asked about the matter and denied any such thing, and AHL Commissioner Scott Howson stated he worked for the Edmonton and Columbus organizations for the past 26 years, and he's never heard of such a bonus like that, but can't speak on what other teams have done. He said he would be looking into this and would obviously want to eliminate it if it's true. As of today, no new information has come out. Now, like Scott Howson said, he can't speak on what other teams have done, whether every team is doing this or just certain ones. This interview did shine a light on the drug Toradol and its overusage in the NHL and AHL without any information shared with the players about what it does and its possible side effects. From what we heard about Justin Roethlisberger's experience, this is the dark side of the professional hockey league. This is something covered up by the league and or certain teams to protect the organization, and not much so its players, who use the drug without being aware about what it's doing to their bodies. We've talked about player injuries on this podcast before and found that we only get bits of information of any injuries like upper body or lower body, which again we talked about this episode earlier, and nothing more due to the NHLPA policy for individual players' rights to medical privacy. Now, I agree with the policy, but it also puts a blanket over information that could put the team in trouble if information came out that the reason why the player is out is due to the overusage of Toradol or another drug prescribed by the team's medical staff. More players need to come out and address this issue, not only for new players coming in the league, but themselves and players who haven't used it. This is not a blame on the NHL and AHL simply because we don't have the knowledge if there's just certain teams doing this or it's all of them. But another shine of light on the subject of Toradol and what it's doing to the lives of these professional players and to make more people aware of the situation, and maybe it could reach someone with the power to do something. Even if it's just sitting down with the players and informing them of what Toradol is and what it can do to them is a big step forward in solving this hidden crisis in hockey. And so W5 dropped that out. I'll put a link for everyone to watch in the description of this podcast, but I must have watched it at least 5 times. And when you hear the stories, especially from Ryan Kessler, and then you see Zion Konopka and Kyle Quincy, like you can see like just the pain they're going through post hockey and their experience and the way they talk. I guess it shows it more than what I'm saying, and it's something that needs to be talked about. It needs to be known what the NHL is doing, and I feel like the NHL needs to start coming out and addressing this. We get it. We get hockey is, especially NHL and AHL, when you get to the professionals, you got these guys that are like, 250, 270 pounds just going at each other night after night. You're going to get hurt. You're going to have pain. There are going to be drugs supposed to be given to players to get through it, but they got to be informed about all this. They got to know what they're taking, how's it going to affect them, and for a team or an organization to give these to players without telling them what it's going to do, what it is, and after they retire or leave from injury, just act like they had nothing to do with it is just outlandish to me. And as if you're going to be professional, man, you gotta treat your players right and make them aware.
So 2 things on this. This is a super, super sad subject, honestly. At the end of the day, some of these players don't care in the moment. I think about the player in Dallas. Oh, God. I'm going to have a brain block. He had his heart stop on the ice and was getting taken out. He used to play for the Bruins.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he had his heart stop on the ice. He used to play for the Bruins, and they're stretchering him out, and he's asking if he can make it back for the 3rd period. Some guys just, in the moment, they don't care. They just want to get back out there, and they want to be there. They'll do whatever it takes to stay on the ice and play some more.
Oh,
it was Rich
Peverley.
Peverley, yeah. So at the end of the day, it's 50-50, and the other side of it is that the NHL is a business, and much like the NFL with their concussion protocol, 10 years later, the NFL's finally starting to care and show a little bit and actually make an effort towards players that have been affected by it and make steps towards having a sport where, concussions are talked about and as much as they can. In that kind of sport, there's so much science on it now that you can't really have football without concussions. They got to go together.
Football especially.
So now
it happens to hockey, and we've talked about. I talked about my experience with the 3 concussions I had, where 2 of them, man, like you go to the doctors, and they'd be like, I don't know, just don't look at like the light or whatever. And now it's MRI check, it's brain rest, and so it's now evolved to at least give you more information on what to do. Whereas I feel like in this situation, NHL isn't evolved enough to tell their players, this is what Toradol is going to do to you. This is going to make you play 100% even with a broken jaw. But in the long run, I feel like they're covering it up.
They're going to. It's a business. They don't want any of this out there. But on the other side of it, I mean, it's players weighing their cost-benefit analysis and deciding, is it worth it for me to stick this needle in my ass and get back out there and play, or should I think about this? And most of the time, when you're on a team like that, you just want to be there for the guys and do as much as you can. So, so, like you said, if they're more informed and if the NHL was looking at their paperwork and seeing exactly what every single player on the team is given to perform and recover, you know.
You are right, though. Kessler, in that interview, did say, man, like, you do everything for the team. Like, you don't sit there, get hurt, and just, like, leave, man.
If there's anything you can do to get back out there, you want to do it.
You play through the pain and get through it. Yep. So he said there was plenty of times where he would just, like, he couldn't move because he had hip injuries, and just like, I need to be here for my team. Give me the Toradol shot and let's get out of here.
That's the worst part of it is now, it's not like he necessarily regrets his decisions, but he's like, I would do anything to get out of the situation I'm in now. You know, if I knew then what I know now.
Right,
you know?
Exactly. So, I'm trying to shine a light on this yet again. I'm shocked this even came up. I don't even know how I found it. It was just like, I don't know, I was just going through like hockey shit and like it came up and it was just the problem of pain in hockey. And I'm like, what the hell's this? And then like, it's a 24-minute video, and like I was again floored. Again, I watched it at least 4 or 5 times, and I was like, I need to. Why is no one talking about this? Why does no one know about this yet?
The NHL isn't going to broadcast that. No. You know, that's what it is, and it's good that it's out there and it's being talked about, and it'll protect the kids in 10, 20 years when they're in the show. But
so, I wanted to be careful when I was saying if it's just random amount of teams doing this, but the NHL wants to put this under blankets or whatever, from people's view. Does that mean the NHL in general, like the organization in general, is doing this?
So one thing I think, like the term you used, putting it under a blanket, I heard you say that earlier when you were talking about like the NHL and the NHLPA protocol with their health history, and obviously you agree with that. Like they should have their history private, but players like Ryan Kessler, and as hard as it is for them to share their stories with what they're going through and what they went through, that's what brings it to light, and that's what needs to be done. You know, it's just, if you're suffering like that, like someone's got to know. You know, you gotta put it out there and expose it for what it is.
Yeah, in the interview, he talks about the pain he's in, and he's like, he's got 3 kids, and he said they want to play with their dad. So he's like, when I do it, man, he pays for it the next day. Like, you're just in so much pain, and he started kind of breaking down because he was like, it got to the point where like his kids are seeing the pain he's in, and they just stopped kind of asking like, hey, I want to play. So
that's terrible.
He's and it's all from the Toradol, and he's like, there's no way in hell like it's not from the Toradol. It's the lack of information given to me, and it's just, but
especially a guy like him, like as a player, like you look at his numbers and stuff and how highly touted he was around the league, and he was expected to perform to these high levels. Like, he's going to do anything he can to live up to the talk, you know?
Right. I mean, you got to do what you. I mean, once you get into the NHL, man, you want to stay there. You'll do anything to stay there.
It's a fight. Your job isn't guaranteed. You know?
Exactly. It's so before this, I showed this to my girlfriend, and because she's a chemist, she knows what's going on. So I was like, "What, you know anything about Toradol?" So she's like kind of looking it up, and actually, there's this year. Oh no, 2017. Toradol is actually was used in the
Four
NFL.
Loko?
Four Loko.
It's used in Four Lokos?
It's used in Four Loko.
Oh god.
Yeah. Anyway, it was used in the NFL, and actually right now there's a massive lawsuit that started in 2017 because of the overusage of Toradol. So at least the NFL is like kind of acknowledging what's going on, and there's a big. You don't think so? Even though there's a massive lawsuit,
no, that's what the NHL will see in 5 years. It's the players going against the NFL for it. The NFL is trying to just cut their losses, hide everything they can. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, gotcha.
The NFL isn't bringing it out front. It's the players going and attacking the NFL, saying exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I've been given this. I didn't know the side effects.
What
the fuck kind of thing.
Exactly.
You know, it's just because there's a lawsuit there doesn't mean the NFL's like, oh, we're going to lay down and lose the lawsuit. They're going to hire the best lawyers they can find and try and pay the players as little as they can, or as reasonable an amount as they can, you know, because it's a business, you know.
So, sad news, dark news.
Yeah.
It's been a dark episode, man.
Yeah.
Right behind you is the dark jersey you got there, the Sabres.
I was all excited for summer, and now I just want to crawl into bed.
We got the Toradol. I don't know, but I hope something gets done about it. I really do. And when you guys watch the when you guys watch the video, I think when it comes from players, especially when it comes from their perspective and them talking, you feel it more. You're like,
yeah, they're living it. Like you feel for them. It's terrible.
Exactly. So that's it for this week. Want to start bullshitting because we got. What's going on? What are you doing? Part 2 of St. Paddy's Day this weekend?
Yeah. I mean, I'm honestly just not really doing part 2. I did get after it a little bit Tuesday night and Wednesday night, and now I'm drinking a Four Loko. So I don't know how much I'll be doing this weekend. I know Friday night my brother-in-law is coming down, so I'll be hammering it up with him. So that's tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And then if I stretch that into Saturday, I've now drank 5 nights in a row. So I think I need some time off. I think you're taking some time off. You were saying, right? Cutting back a bit. I know the gym's making you feel a little better, right?
Yeah, so I got back into the gym. It's been 3 weeks now, I think.
I think so.
I finally have a routine. I finally know when to go when it's kind of quiet. And so, I mean...
Have you been when it's busy? Is it like busy? Or like
I have.
No
and
shit.
Like, I'll try to find a spot where like no one's there. Like a week or so ago, I went, and it was a little later than I normally do. I think it was on a Saturday. And I go down to like the... where the gym is like you walk in to the upstairs, then you go down into the basement where all like the weights are. And I went in and there had been like 40, 50 people like down there.
Damn.
I mean, it's a big spot, but like it was like everything was taken, and I'm like, shit. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go upstairs where like there's no one around me doing cardio and just do like an hour of cardio and get out of there. So I'm doing that, and I'm back on my diet, and I've stopped, man. Like the gym's been good to me. I'm going to try to be good to my liver because I told you I stopped the Jameson. Although I have a Mike's Hard. I've been doing, ever so often I'll do like one of these because, it's not that crazy.
It's a disgusting amount of sugar though.
It is. But again, just like one of these ever so often, it's better than like the fucking 4 or 5 JMOs that I was doing tonight.
I mean, you learn to drink it straight. You could save yourself some calories, a little less ginger ale, more Jameson, right?
Right, exactly. But I've been doing really good.
I gotta shed some pounds.
You gotta get there.
Get it on there. Now with the weather turning though, I'll be walking the dog around the track. I'll be playing outside. I've been actually really, really interested in researching and finding men's league lacrosse, but not like I've done men's league lacrosse before, like straight out of high school. And I was like, holy shit. They were like D1, D3, like college athletes home for the summer. And I got toasted, dude. Like, yeah. So I'm looking for like men's league hockey has like shit ass levels. Mm-hmm. I need that for lacrosse to go have some fun.
You send me things on Instagram all the time, just like random lacrosse things. I think the last thing you sent me the other day was someone just getting absolutely nailed.
Yeah, he got creamed. I'm looking forward to the PLL this season too. They acquired the MLL, which is the Major Lacrosse League, I think, and they're the Premier Lacrosse League. Major League Lacrosse they acquired, and so the way the PLL works, do you know about this?
No.
I'm gonna go in on this real quick.
Good.
The PLL was a 6-team league, and it became a 7-team league. Now they acquired the MLL. It's an 8-team league, but none of the teams are associated with cities. So they have like the Whip Snakes, the Atlas, the Chrome, the Boston Cannons are now just the Cannons.
Just the Cannons.
And they're like a traveling league. And it was interesting because at the time they were trying to grow the game. And Paul Rabel is one of the biggest names in lacrosse. Mm-hmm. He left the MLL to start this.
Oh, wow.
And he made it so that instead of having like teams with cities, it's just teams. And all 6 teams go to Austin, Texas for a week. They play a weekend there and they play all their games. Then they go to Dallas or they go to Seattle, and they're just trying to grow the game of lacrosse. And you can buy tickets and go, and it's actually really fun to watch. It's like the best athletes in the world when it comes to lacrosse, and it's honestly one of the fastest growing sports in America.
Oh, that's cool.
And now they acquired the Cannons, and there's an expansion draft that they already did. They have a I forget the name of it. One is a college draft, and the other one is like an entry draft. So there's like you can come straight out of college and join the PLL, or you can like just be a free agent and get drafted,
Interesting.
Yeah.
So one thing I don't understand about lacrosse is the goalies like sometimes I'll see a goalie that's like just as big as the fucking net, and I'm like, how the hell do they even score?
Yeah.
And then some goalies are just like not wearing anything.
So there's box lacrosse, which is indoor, which is kind of like indoor soccer. Have you ever seen an indoor soccer arena?
Yeah.
They have boards, it's basically like a hockey rink, but with grass. or turf, and the box lacrosse goalies get like hockey goalie equipment and then some. They're like fucking massive, like barely move, and you can still score on them, which is impressive, honestly.
Wow.
But in the goals, like the scores kind of end up almost the same. But then in outdoor lacrosse, it's so I think box lacrosse is probably 6 players, 2, 2, and 2. So the way lacrosse works, this is a breakdown for anyone who cares. There's a midfield line. The defenseman can't cross the midfield line unless so there's 2 defensemen, 2 midfield, 2 attack. The defenseman can't cross the line unless a midfielder stays back for them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But the midfielders can go back and forth however they want.
Interesting.
The attack players stay on attack the whole time.
Oh, okay.
So those 2 stay up there. And that's indoor lacrosse, and there's 2 goalies. And then on outdoor lacrosse, which is like normal lacrosse. Box lacrosse is different with the big-ass goalies. Normal lacrosse, it's a 3-3-3. And same rules. A defenseman can go up if a midi stays back.
It's like chess.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. There's like different rules that apply.
Only a certain player can do this. And
Yep. And there's long sticks, like you've seen the big-ass defenseman pulls. But the goalies in outdoor, man, they wear nothing. They wear like a little bit extra chest protection, gloves, and a cup, and a helmet, obviously.
They're more psychotic than we are.
I think so. I honestly think so. Like the bruises, and I think there was an article from a former like Cannons goalie. He was hit so many times with the ball, obviously, over time. His veins, like he has like limited blood flow in his body. It's like
Jesus,
just from getting hit so many times. It's like hard, you know. It's crazy. I forget who it was, but I'll try and find that too and send that.
I had a neighbor years ago growing up that played lacrosse, and I remember fucking around with a stick of his, and that ball, man, like it's not soft at all. It's like it's pretty hard. So
it's like the ball form of a puck, but it has more bounce to it.
Right.
You know, if you bounce it on this, you could like fling it right back up to your hand. But if you did that with a puck, it would like kind of die.
I can't imagine, like if the cup just didn't work and just oh my god, or like the shin itself, like it's something.
The
like
shin's probably the worst part, honestly. And there's a lot of shots that are there because he bounced the ball off the ground a lot to tweak the angle.
Right.
Of it, you know.
Fuck that.
But I'm interested in looking into it and doing it personally. I want to find like a men's league, and actually I was interested in doing goalie and checking it out.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I'll watch you play. I'm not gonna play, but I'll watch you play.
I think I told you on the show too. There was like an indoor league, but you had to know someone to get in because they didn't want anyone suing for like getting fucked up playing because they actually check and everything too.
Oh really?
Like, you can't really play men's lacrosse without going full speed.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're telling me you gotta know. Oh yeah, because they don't want.
That was the indoor one, the box
gotcha.
lacrosse.
Yep,
but
yep.
I'm not interested in playing goalie in box lacrosse. I'll play out in box lacrosse, but yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. I want to buy a net for out back too. I have a hockey net that I leave out there and rip balls at, but
I thought that was a lacrosse net.
No, that's my hockey net. I have it on the back side of the shed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to buy a lacrosse one, but the issue I have with it is if I miss that thing, there's like a walking path that everybody goes by, and I'm just like creaming shots, and I don't want to shoot the other way because I don't want to hit my own house.
Yeah, just like if you miss, man, it's all. It reminds me of remember those videos of like there's a net and someone's just like skating on like a big ass like lake, like that's frozen over, and like they're just taking shots. I'm like, if you miss, man.
Oh, you're going like a mile to go get the puck.
You're fucking just say goodbye to that puck, man. I'm not.
I'll grab a different one. That's fine.
With that said, let's end it. Let's do our shot. You know what's funny? As I was talking about not doing whiskey in a while, this is whiskey here, blended Canadian whiskey. I don't know how I feel about this.
You bought it, bud.
We're gonna find out.
I got Dr. McGillicuddy's cherry this week. It's gonna go nice with my Swedish Fish 4 Loco. You always smell it and you go, ugh. And then you're gonna rip it, you're gonna go, ugh.
Ugh.
At least you got some mics to chase it with.
Cheers,
pal.
buddy.
Talk about cough syrup, dude. What?
Yeah, that wasn't good. Ugh. Fuck that. That was brutal.
Tamed it down. You tamed it down, I think, intentionally from past weeks.
I did.
One episode's just enough time to finish a 4 Loco for all you listeners at home. Feel free to grab a 4 Loco next episode and crush one while you listen. And
I'd recommend you don't.
I'd also not recommend Dr.
I don't
McGillicuddy's
recommend Canadian LTD too, so
there's your brands to avoid for the week. This week's episode has been brought to you by 4 Loco. All right, boys. All good?
All good.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening. If there's anything you want to see us cover next episode, let us know. Our links are in the description, and we'll see you all next week.
See you later.